remember that a whole lot of circumstances surrounded my interview that day, from being called a thief on the train to wearing a dirty white shirt to the interview. Hi guys, happy new year! I'm so excited to be filming my video. Although I'm filming at about 9:51 p.m. Lagos time. You know how stressful that can be. But I'm doing this just to make sure that I'm giving you the content just as I promised in my video last year. Please stay tuned to my channel. On today's video, we'll be talking about the topic, why has God forsaken me? Why does everything seem to fail? Why does it seem like nothing else is working for me? This is a question that many of us ask ourselves. But really, does God forsake us? I'll be walking us through my job hunting experience, which is actually my testimony of whether God has forsaken me or not. So I'll be starting from after my NYC. I finished my NYC in March 2019, and after the NYC, I decided I was going to start my business. Of course, I had my business while I was in school. I think the business started in like 2015, and I was going to continue the business, after NYC, pending the time that I get a job. So I started job hunting, and then I was going from interviews to interviews to interviews. There was the first stage, second stage, in fact, for some jobs, third stage of the interview. And at some point, it seemed like I couldn't go any further. Meanwhile, this was just like 3 months after my NYC. And then I was speaking to people who were saying they had been seeking for job like 6 months after their NYC, 1 year after their NYC, 2 years after their NYC. And then I was like, it's just 3 months. Okay, I can't be frustrated. And then my very good friend, John, recommended a job to me, sent me the link, and I applied. And I remember that a whole lot of circumstances surrounded my interview that day, from being called a thief on the train to wearing a dirty white shirt to the interview and all of that. But in the long run, I got called for the job and I resumed. I resumed the job in July 2019, and the job went on for about 4 months. So in my third month, something happened. I woke up one day and I just felt the urge to leave, which was very unusual. I was praying about it, like, what is this? What is this? What is this? And then the Holy Spirit was telling me to leave the job. I'm like, job that I know how I sweated to get. And then the Holy Spirit is asking me to leave the job. Okay, if I leave this job, what do I want to do? And then, there was back and forth, me talking to God and all through the process. And eventually, the Holy Spirit told me that if I survived before getting the job, then I will survive after leaving the job. And then I left the job in November to focus on my business. Although while focusing on my business, I was still job hunting like actively. And then in March 2020, I got another interview after several mails, after sending several mails, after throwing out my CV to every company that is recruiting, of course, in related field, and COVID struck. I was supposed to resume the job like a week before the first lockdown, or the Monday that, okay, maybe the lockdown started on Sunday, and then I was supposed to resume on the Monday, and I didn't get the mail. It was just back and forth, and I couldn't resume the job, and then I had to stay at home. After COVID, after the lockdown was raised, I decided to start another business, which is my POS business. I started the business in, say, October, but I started running the processing for the business in like June. I had to send mails. People were working from home. It was not easy to apply for a POS, and then I started the POS business, and it was flourishing well, making profits. Oh, I forgot to mention that I took loans to start the business, and then I had to repay my loans, and I was just there. Then in November, I got called for a job that submitted CV for about a year. and I was so excited, like, oh, this is my answered prayers. Hey, I'm starting a job and all of that. And I'm like, okay, what will I do about my business? How am I going to put someone in charge of my business? Or where do I go from here? How am I going to? All those moments of thinking, thinking, and overthinking, which is very, very synonymous for me. And I wanted to attend the interview, then I called someone that was working there, and the person told me that to attend the interview, I need to get a professional makeup, I need to wear a short dress, I need to look very, very, breathtaking and all of that. In the process of that, the Holy Spirit told me that, is this what I really want? Dressing about my body and trying to apply and making it about my body, not about the job that I was going to take. And I had this kind of setback, but because I wanted a job, I already missed going to the office, working 9 to 5. I just thought, okay, this was an avenue. And then I got a makeup artist to work on my face. I wore a nice dress, wore a nice shoe, went for the interview, wrote the exam. I passed the first stage, and then they invited us for the second stage interview. For the second stage interview, I think I didn't even have what to wear. I had to go to the market to buy dresses for the interview. Just a day notice, so it was even less than 24 hours. I had to wash the dress, I had to dry the dress, I had to iron the dress, and all of that, and very early the next morning, I was on my way to VI, to the head office. I was going for the interview. I was interviewed, and I think it was from that second interview that I started having some doubts, but notwithstanding, I kept my hopes high, and this was early December, and they said they were going to call us. The second interview was like middle of December. So before the second interview, okay, before the second interview, I was having issues with my POS. I was losing money from my business. I was going through some challenging moments, which I didn't even have an idea when it was going to end. In all of this, I kept praying, and it seemed like God was not listening to my prayers. There were nights where I would cry to sleep. There were days where I would starve myself. A lot of things were happening to me, and I couldn't really talk to people about it. I had to keep most of it to myself, except my man, of course, because I always let him know whatever is going on with me. And I have to stop the story here for today. I'll conclude this story in my next video. Kindly like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, drop your comments below. I would like to know your experiences so I can also learn from you. Once again, my name is Shomi Christiana. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.